Welcome to Dandysoap DIY. I'm Elizabeth, and we're going to repurpose some ceiling fan blades 2 different ways so that you have some ideas. So basically, I decoupaged this onto the ceiling fan by cutting a piece of fabric to fit it. And as you know, fabrics are about 44 inches long, so that's why I'm going to give you a second rendition of this. So once you have placed your Mod Podge onto the ceiling fan blade, you can lay your fabric down and let it adhere. Now you won't have to give it a very long time to dry and set it in place, and if any of you use an iron, you can heat it and that'll help the Mod Podge melt and adhere to the fabric. It'll never come off. Now this particular jack-o'-lantern face is actually wood pieces. This came from the Target red spot, and I am placing it on here. But in the second one, you will see that I do it with fabric. So as I place these, you'll see that the smile of the jack-o'-lantern is about 2 or 3 inches from the bottom. And then the eyes are going to be midway of the ceiling fan blade. This will give great positioning, and it'll just really, truly bring it home. Now the nose was really small, so I went ahead and I found me some black fabric, and I cut a piece the size that I really thought would be proportionate for my jack-o'-lantern. And I placed it underneath it first. Then once I put the fabric into place, I put the little wood piece on top of it. So I always don't trust the sticky back, and I will use my glue insurance. So I hot glue, and I use Sure Bonder glue, which is my favorite. And then I place that wood nose right atop of it. That looked pretty good. Now I'm using the Tim Holtz Distressing ink. I'll put an affiliate link down below, and just rub that about the edges and all around. Now if you've cut your fabric to fit your blade, it will be even and smooth, and then of course you can sand off the sides if there's anything overhanging. And then just distress it as much as you like. You can also do this with paint and use your dry brush method and just rub paint all about it, or you could use cinnamon. Now I just rub it in once I've put the ink on there, and I'm content and happy with the darkening of it. And this just gives it an old rustic feel, and to me, to truly bring home that wholesome, warm look of Halloween. And you'll see some of these effects on this Halloween pack that is coming up on the screen. Now these are grape leaf vines that Dollar Tree had. Use your Dollar Tree supplies or any of your florals, or perhaps you have grapevines and you can just use the leaves. Now I needed something with a little more color since I am using a printed orange fabric that I had gotten from Michael's. And when I cut my fabric to fit my ceiling fan blade, it's only about 5 inches wide, and there again it is rather long. So I used almost a whole strip there for the ceiling fan blade. If you're liking this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share it with a friend. Now I did use a stapler to staple the grape leaves into place. The reason for that is if I go to gluing things on it and I'm storing this ceiling fan and putting it in and out and moving it about, and of course it's lightweight so it may fall over, or maybe I hang it on the door, this just gives insurance that it's not coming off. And then I added some of my grapevines onto mine, just sticks and branches. You could use florals if you like, or use those from the great outdoors. So I've left in how to make a messy bow. This messy bow, as you can see, you're going to use strips of ribbon, string, your raffia, and I have 2 different colors here. I've got burlap ribbon and different pieces to go in there. And as you start building it, cut out your pieces and lay it out. And you'll put this against the ceiling fan blade to see how wide or how broad you want your messy bow to be. And you can call this a ribbon pile, a messy bow, this and that's, and nicks and knacks of cutoffs. And it's just a great way to use up some of your ribbon scraps or cutoffs or the end of the roll pieces. And then the raffia, that is really what brings it home for it to truly have that fall autumn feel. And once we get this together, you tie it with a jute twine, place it up top, and voila, you have this beautiful ceiling fan jack-o'-lantern, or ceiling fan blade jack-o'-lantern. So now I'm going to show you what I did with the difference that was cut off from the original up top. Once again, I'm using Mod Podge. I took fabric of black and cut out the jack-o'-lantern face, and it pretty much matches the one before and looks even better. In this section, I painted black because the white really just did not look good, and it just did not show off the jack-o'-lantern. So your ceiling fan blade jack-o'-lantern, you're repurposing those ceiling fan blades. You can make Snowman, you can make Santa Claus, you can make gnomes. The sky is the limit, and broaden your creative mind and just go to it. And of course, I'm using Mod Podge to adhere my fabric into place because, as you know, Mod Podge is not only a type of glue, but it is a sealant, and it will stay there. This one I made for my mother-in-law, and honestly, I think I did a better job on hers than I did on mine. So I've got my face on there, and I did staple my leaves, and I distressed it with the Tim Holtz ink. Now this ribbon or messy bow is done differently, and just to give you a rendition of how you're doing it close up, you'll put your larger raffia in the back because you want those loops to come over the edges of your ceiling fan blade. And then you'll put a wide piece of fabric or ribbon, and then start putting your pieces of string, cut-offs, other ribbons, fabric, and different pieces, and just stack them and do them in an X fashion when you start doing your more narrow pieces, because now you've got your base underneath of the raffia and the wide piece of fabric or ribbon. And as you begin stacking it, you'll see the colors and contrast and textures that you want to use and you want to come forth. Here I'm adding some brown raffia, and they have a pack at Dollar Tree that has brown, orange, and red. And I felt that this would really, truly make the colors pop a little more, bring it out. And whenever you're using a big, large piece like this, messy bows really, truly help bounce all those colors and bring them forth and show off your piece. So as you can see here, I find other pieces and I'm like, I need more, and I keep matching it against the ceiling fan blade to see how wide or broad or thick I need it. The more bushy, the more you mess with it, the better it's going to look. And once you get everything situated and you just keep matching it up to the blade to see how big you want it, any project you do. And here we go. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Until the next DIY, this is Elizabeth. Well, I'll be crafting y'all.